Alrighty, everyone. Mesomat back here with another video for y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching this. This probably will be a pretty quick video today, being as though we don't have a lot to talk about. We really don't have much severe weather ongoing. We're not going to have severe weather for quite some time, at least as we get for the next couple of weeks or so. It does look to be on a less active side of things. We've kind of been talking about that for the last couple of days. Really quickly, guys, as well, if y'all will make sure you will tap the like button. Make sure you guys comment if you have any questions as well and share this out to one person as always. I do appreciate y'all for being here as always as well. I don't have any live streams planned either as far as weather coverage goes for anything. We're really not going to need it anytime soon. So if something pops up, we'll let you guys know on that end of things. But our big conversation is going to be the temperatures. We are going to continue to see a below average trend. You can see it on the map here. Your blues are going to be your below average temps. Your average colors are going to be in the gray. And then in those red, orange, and purples, but darker reds, pink colors there up towards the northern plains are going to be your areas where we have the most above average temperatures. And we could actually start to see temperatures above average 15 to 20 degrees up here near Bismarck, North Dakota, South Dakota, parts of Minnesota, into eastern Montana. Cooler below average temps expected over here near Seattle. That's typical for this time of the year. But we are continuing to see this cool down that's been ongoing for much of the Ohio Valley, southern plains, parts of the Gulf states. This has been a nice little trend that we've had for quite some time. This will continue for the next 6 to 10 days, at least forecasted by SPC. In the National Weather Service, and then you can really start to see this continuing heat wave that'll continue to build with a ridge over here in the Four Corners. We've been talking about that over the last couple of days as well. We can see those higher temperatures pushing well over 100 degrees. We could see heat indexes continue to be over 110. California, we've got Arizona, Utah, Nevada. You guys are in the same area where we've been seeing temperatures above 110 as well. Heat indexes are just climbing, so make sure, once again, as always, that y'all are staying hydrated out there, that you are limiting yourself outside with that exposure to the sunlight with those temperatures being so warm. I do want to talk about another thing. We don't talk about this too often, and that's going to be the precip over the next couple of days. What are we looking at climatologically? And you can see below average precip potentially for the northern plains here. That is normal. We start to see above average precip for much of the eastern half of the United States. It's just going to be general thunderstorm driven. So we won't be seeing, like I said, any severe weather with this. This will be general thunderstorms. Most of those general thunderstorms will be down here towards Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas. That's typical for this time of the year as we get ready to transition into August, where we have that highest temperature values for much of the United States. August typically tends to be the hottest month of the year for most people. And then we start to see those below average temperatures go away. And then we'll see the high temperatures go up. And then we'll see precip values go up as well, just driven with the daytime heating convection that we typically have most of the time. Another thing as well, we'll just kind of look at that next 8 to 14 day temperature outlook and precip outlook here. And you can see drier over here in the central plains, more active continuing here for the Ohio Valley, Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, parts of the Northeast there, and into parts of the Texas area here, really starting to become more active. So that's typical for this time of the year as well. Something normally that we see, some general thunderstorms, maybe see some severe weather setups over into Texas as well as we get towards August. And then that 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, we continue to see below average temperatures near Texas, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Austin area. But you can start to see that trend as we go into the last weekend of July and into the first week of August, that above average temperatures really start to settle in for much of the United States. And that's where we enter that really hot period as far as the general type of temperature outlooks go for most people in the August month. Another thing that we are going to look like here is going to be that severe weather setup, and there is just severe weather for today, believe it or not, guys. We are in a very, very quiet pattern now, less active pattern, which is really, really good. We can all get a break from this and kind of reevaluate what's happened over the last couple of months. It's been nonstop as far as severe weather has gone over the last couple of months in general. Really, I think since February, we've had not really any weeks where we've not had any severe weather ongoing. So we do have a marginal risk of severe weather today for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, eastern New Mexico, eastern Colorado, eastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, western Kansas. Be mindful of that. Wind and hail will be the primary threats there. And then back over here into the Carolinas, into parts of Georgia and Florida and Virginia, we've got another marginal risk for wind and hail as well. Be mindful of that. General thunderstorm driven, and then we'll see majority of the United States in a general thunderstorm category as we go into this weekend and into following next week. That'll be something that we watch out for as far as that goes. Another thing I do want to show you guys again, and that is going to be on the temperature trend of things. You can see kind of where the models are painting those low below average temps and those above average temps. So this is where below average temps are at right now. We actually have a higher anomaly of below average temps up in Canada, which is normal. Hotter temperatures are over here in the west. That is typical. And then as we go through the next couple of days here, we can start to see those blue anomalies. They shift down towards Texas, really looking at below average temperatures as we get into the early part of next week for much of Texas. You can kind of start to see a below average to average pattern here for much of the central and eastern United States. And then as we go into the end of next week, you start to see that heat dome build, and that's where that 8 to 14 day temperature outlook comes into factor here, where we talk about temperatures being above 10, 15, maybe 20 degrees over here in the West Pacific again, into the northern plains, starting starting to brew those above average temperatures. And then as we go into that official last week of July, we start to see those blue colors kind of fade away a little bit. We start to see more red colors pop up for much of the Central Plains, Ohio Valley, parts of the Midwest, Great Lakes, still seeing below average temperatures down here in Texas. And then as we go into that first official week of August, you start to see much more red and orange across the map. And that is going to be maybe even a 20 to 25 degree temperature increase there for the northern and central plains. So be mindful as we go into August here, guys, that those temperatures will increase for much of the central plains. And you can see as we officially even get into August here, really not looking at a lot of blues on the map. Canada's blue, everybody else is orange, if not neutral, meaning above average temperatures. You know, some of these 15, 16, 20 degrees below, above average, which is going to be something that we have to be watching out for here. Now, another thing that I want to talk about here is going to be that jet stream. What is our jet stream going to look like over the next couple of days as far as, you know, anything active? Well, right now, like I said, we've got a low up here in Canada. This is going to push off that last bit of severe weather in the mid-Atlantic and southeast with that cold front that trails down. We'll see the severe weather move out of the central plains today. You can see that little divot in the jet stream. You got a strong, or not strong, but a weak northwesterly to southeasterly flow there. That'll help bring up a damaging wind threat for today potentially. And then as we go into the week, into next week here, we start to look at maybe a couple more disturbances that could pop up in the Midwest and Ohio Valley here. Something will kind of be noted of. You got a low up here that's sitting up in Canada. You got a couple of these northwesterly to southeasterly jet streaks that basically give us that damaging wind potential. You can get these little MCS mesoconvective scale systems that set up with those type of jet streams. And then as we go into part of the last weekend of July, we might see a little bit more of an organized setup try to develop, especially up here to the northern plains, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, parts of Idaho, into parts of Utah, and into parts of Wyoming as well here. Just kind of be mindful of that as we go into that last weekend of July. And then past that point, you know, looks to be we might start to enter another active period for severe weather, at least as we get into that last weekend and first week of August. This is something we'll watch. Dominant high pressure looks like it will continue over in the Four Corners and Western Plains, while we start to see more severe weather potentially set up as we get into parts of the Ohio Valley and into the Midwest and Great Lakes area again. So that's typical for this time of the year. Another thing as well that I want to show you guys is going to be that precip, just kind of what we're looking at over the next couple of days. We can start to see all the greens and all the yellows on the map. General thunderstorms all over the board here. Like I said, really not seeing anything as far as severe weather outbreak or anything really crazy until potentially as we get into next week with that low that sets up there over the central and northern plains. This is the one right here on Tuesday we would be watching out for maybe, but general thunderstorms for much of the United States, especially as we go into July here and into the first week of August. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Make sure y'all stay hydrated. Make sure y'all, like I said at the beginning of the video here, make sure y'all keep track of how long you're outside for. Wear sunscreen as well if you guys can please do that as well. But other than that, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Stay safe, be weather aware, guys.